not far apart. It's believed that an aircraft of some kind also caused the explosion fire at the Pentagon. Now, there are reports out of Washington at this hour. Keep in mind that the FAA has ordered what in effect is a lockdown on air flights over the United States. Planes in the air have been ordered to land. They don't want any aircraft flying anywhere in the United States if they can keep from it at this moment. And here's the reason. Reports of all kinds are flying around, but there is one report that another aircraft has been hijacked in the eastern corridor. U.S. Air Force fighter aircraft are flying over the White House at this hour. Evacuations of some portions, at least some portions of the White House and the Capitol have been reported over the last hour and a half. But this is a fluid situation, this breaking story situation, and to bring you up to date, the twin towers of the World Trade Center have been hit, each by one aircraft, one slightly before 9 o'clock, one just after 9 o'clock Eastern time this morning. And a short time after that, this picture you see on the right of your screen emerged from the Pentagon. What happened at the Pentagon, unclear, but there are eyewitness reports that an aircraft crashed into the Pentagon. Obviously, authorities are taking every precaution that they can, and amid this report, the unconfirmed report that another civilian airliner possibly has been hijacked somewhere in the Washington area is leading to yet another series of investigations. The Associated Press now, in a flash, quoting the Associated Press, one World Trade Center tower has collapsed. Period. And let's pause for a moment because given the photographs, the live pictures we have, it's very difficult to confirm that report that a whole tower has collapsed. We're going to stick with the moment, for the moment, with the report that a portion of one of the World Trade Center towers has collapsed. Perhaps that's what the Associated Press means. With me here is Russ Mitchell in New York. Russ, seeing these pictures of the World Trade Center, both towers aflame, all that smoke down in that part of Manhattan, is reminiscent of what happened in the World Trade Center not quite 10 years ago.
That's right. It was February 26, 1993. 6 people were killed in a terrorist bombing, over 1,000 people injured. And for folks who are really not familiar with the World Trade Center, let's kind of put things in perspective for you. These are twin towers. They were dedicated back in 1973. They are each more than 1,300 feet tall, 110 stories. As Mika Brzezinski reported a few minutes ago, 50,000 people work in these twin towers, and we're talking about things from brokerage firms to law firms and other offices on those floors. To give you an idea of the amount of folks and the size we're talking about here, each tower of the World Trade Center has its own zip code. Each tower has its own zip code. It is a symbol of American capitalism. And when this happened, I know back in 1993, Dan, the thought was that the World Trade Center, along with other major buildings in the United States, in New York, were targets for this because they were symbols of America. And anyone who was out to prove something would hit these targets. And just like the World Trade Center, by the way, were the tallest buildings in the world before they were displaced by the Sears Tower in Chicago, which has also been evacuated this morning.
In that last attack on the World Trade Center, the terrorist attack for which the attackers were tracked down and convicted and imprisoned, at least some of them, the plan at that time by the terrorist planners was a series of attacks. They intended to attack not only the World Trade Center, but also the United Nations and at least one of the tunnels leading into New York City. Now, what's happened this morning on the prima facie case so far is that this was a coordinated series of attacks which succeeded with the World Trade Centers and with the Pentagon. Now, from the scene, you heard Mika Brzezinski earlier report that she saw people